I guess you got to have a certain number of followers to do a live stream.
Oh,
So
huh.
I guess, see, I got two other channels that I just post different things on. One's a
Sure.
spiritual channel for my Bible study, and the other one is just for hoof evaluations and whatnot. But I've never done anything live on there, so I didn't know you couldn't do live.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Rats.
okay. So I'm here with Joella, and we're gonna do a hoof evaluation on her mare. And I'm if it's okay with you, I'll have them tell your story, the story of your mare, what you're kind of gone through, things like that, so that people will know, okay? Because
Okay.
I guarantee you, other people are going through the same situation, uh, and don't know it, you know,
You're
don't know that what a messed up deal it is out there in hoof care land. Um, so hold on a second. I'm going to get some pictures up of your horse. So let's see. Did you want to send some baby pictures too?
yeah, there
There.
everything's on your email
Okay.
and I have it divided up by so I sent you one email for the baby pictures and one email for the left front and so that way
Okay.
you can find whatever you want really easily.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put a picture up here just for now, so people got something to stare at. Okay. Actually, I did want to put a that'll be good enough for now. Okay. So I'm gonna go to my email and just a second here. Oh, okay. I see what I'm doing wrong. Inbox. Okay, because you sent me some more since I have you in a folder here. So I'm gonna put you in my put you over
I,
into your folder. Let's
I
see.
think I sent you 6 emails total.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Let's see here. Get you up there where you go. Okay, now open your folder. Okay, so I'm gonna read these off. Got your baby pictures here. How about if we put some baby pictures up and then you can
Sounds
tell
good.
your story, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, poor baby girl.
Yep.
Aw, you'll have to tell me. Yeah, well, we'll find out her story here. Let's see here. Let me grab that image and open it up. Do, 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 do. Um, mm, Wheel. Okay, we'll just open this up to there. Okay, so um, her name is Bronwyn. Now, you obviously bred this. You have the mother to this.
Yeah. Yep. The mother's a jockey club mare.
Okay, okay. So she was, and then who was the stallion?
He is he's a Holsteiner that was imported from Germany. He's got like I don't know. I was told he's got family in the Olympics, but I don't care enough to look it up. So
Yeah,
I never take the time.
yeah.
He was just a nice looking horse. So
Hmm.
and he was relatively local and I was trying to get a horse that I didn't have to rehab.
Hmm. And
Anyway,
you're in Montana, right?
yeah.
Yep.
So do you
Okay.
want me to go ahead and start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so um my mare had a really hard time maintaining a pregnancy. And so the last time we tried to get a baby from her, I left her at the breeding farm, which was like 4 hours from my house.
Mm-hmm.
And near her due date, the breeding farm owner had to
Okay.
go to Canada.
Hold on 1 second, because we're not, for some reason, this is not working. Hold on. Let's see.
Okay.
New share. What is going on? Okay, I see what's going on here. We're just way behind. Hold on. I'm gonna get her up here again. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me open up a separate window.
I'm seeing her on a paint screen.
You're what?
I see her on a paint screen.
A paint screen?
Yeah, like
Oh,
the
okay.
paint.
You're seeing her there. Well, see, I'm trying to get the YouTube
Okay.
deal right here. God. Let's see. Uh, now I don't know what I'm doing here. Just a second here. Facebook. I should have had you send these to Messenger because they're easier to work with.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No, no, you don't need to be sorry. It's me trying to figure out the best way to help people here. So let me get into Yahoo Mail again. Okay, just a second here. Let's see. Baby pictures. Okay, go. And I'll get this going. Okay, I'm just about ready. Sorry about this.
Nope, you're
Let's
good.
see. New share. Okay, now let me go see what we got on YouTube. Man, YouTube is just like lagging way, way, way behind. But it should start
Yeah, it
here.
shows that it's recording on my end.
Okay, it's recording here now too.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to have you start over, and then
Okay.
I'll just edit this YouTube video, the first part of it. Okay,
Okay.
so
Sounds
as
good.
you're telling her story, I will switch the pictures and okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I had a difficult time keeping my mare had a difficult time maintaining a pregnancy. So the breeding farm owner, which was 4 hours from my house, offered to just keep my mare there for the duration of the pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And near the due date, the owner had to run up to Canada to pick up horses from the track up there. And
Mm-hmm.
so she left my mare with a neighbor who raises quarter horses and has a really beautiful, like, heated barn and blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my mare was left outside 4 days post due date in a blizzard.
Oh my goodness.
And so I just like to mention that because people think that like I did this.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so then I got the phone call that they found my baby frozen to the ground
Oh my gosh.
and they peeled her off the ground, which is why she's got all this frostbite
Poor
ulcers.
baby girl.
Yep. And so we've had a lot of, I won't believe, I mean, like this story can just go on forever. So
Yeah.
just to cut it short is she's a miracle, like
Yeah.
her core body temp was in the low 80s.
Uh-huh.
And most people don't even survive that. So um she's definitely an answer to my prayer.
Yeah.
But her organs are fine. Like all of her blood work comes back normal, so she doesn't appear to have any like damage in her organs or her brain.
Mm-hmm.
The struggle there's been a lot of struggle, obviously, with all the scar tissue. And
Yeah.
but the hind feet, as you can see, um, they froze badly. All four
Mm-hmm.
feet froze badly, and there's holes there. You can see in the toe, there's three big holes in the lamina in the picture you had right there.
Okay. Let me
That's a
go
little bit
back.
older picture. Yeah, that
Okay.
one.
Oh,
Right.
I see it right there, there,
Yeah.
and there.
So
Yeah.
we think that the lamina is scarred pretty bad from the frostbite.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do keep her on like an herb that helps keep the capillaries dilated,
Uh-huh.
and I don't get digital pulses when she's on that herb.
Okay.
So I don't know, but it helps. So,
Now,
um,
how old is she in this picture here? Like
I
here, was that picture was not taken at the same time as this picture, was it, or was it
That's a month apart.
a month
So
apart?
the hoof pick that yeah, that hoof picture is about 4 weeks old.
Okay.
You can see that the hoof is really trying to grow something,
Yeah.
anything. It's growing like crazy. So I've had I don't know, I haven't been formally educated in the barefoot trimming method, but I was
Hmm.
using their principles, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that didn't help.
Yep.
Plus the damage didn't help. Plus the distortion coming from the damage didn't help. None of that helped. And so I don't think that on the hinds she's ever had a heel buttress in her whole life.
Yeah.
Like I think it's been squished since day 3 or
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
So we tried a lot of things. And right now I haven't trimmed her lateral heels in over a year.
Hmm.
I've never actually really done anything to shorten them because they've never grown. I
Hmm.
can't get I can't get them to grow.
Yeah.
The medial heel will grow. And so I end up with medial lateral imbalance, but if I just chop off the medial heel, then now I'm really walking on bulbs.
Hmm.
So it's like stuck in yeah, you can really see the pinching there in the heel area. That's, so her hooves are definitely a big piece of my puzzle. So I've been using the information that you've been sharing. I think it's been a year. I do have a little bit of heel growth coming. Um,
Hmm.
but those lateral heels, they're stuck. Something is sticking them down.
Yeah.
Something is the medial ones are, improving slowly, but those lateral ones, they're just glued down somehow. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, I see. I see. I really see exactly what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, everything
Yeah.
is just so bad, and then that frog is gluing the crap out of it.
Yep. Now,
But
now, how old is she now?
she's
You
9.
9 years old. So
Yeah.
this you've been dealing with this since she was not a baby. Okay, so um first I just want to explain what went on here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Now, when did you start with the barefoot trimming?
We probably, I mean, I was touching up her feet since month 3, 2 or 3.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
let's just say her whole life.
Okay. Okay, well, let's go first and look at what I'm seeing in the baby pictures. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that might help somebody for sure.
Okay, because that's what started this. Um, obviously, doing the barefoot trimming, taking the heels back to the base of the frog, taking them down, things like that that they have you do, that sure didn't help. but you already had mechanical situations going on here to begin with on the foot itself. Um, let's look at her baby pictures. First of all, the way she's standing, how her pasterns are so tipped back.
Yeah.
Okay, she's being forced onto her bulbs anyway,
Yeah.
and so what that's doing right here, what this is doing, see, she's being forced onto the back of her foot, and that is forcing her toes forward. And
So you're showing a hoof picture right now.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because see, well, in both cases, like whether we look at this, see where her pasterns, you know, uh, her pasterns are basically fallen, and she's not standing upright. So she's being forced onto the back of her bulbs anyway because she can't stand upright. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was just saying, like, I don't see the whole horse right now. I don't know if that's what you were wanting to show.
Yeah, I'm just showing here. I'm going to save this image and open it in something bigger. Just a second here. Are you seeing the picture in the email where you see just her front and back feet?
Nope, I'm
Oh,
seeing
okay.
a paint app.
Okay. Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and then I opened it up bigger in paint. I think it's going to be bigger. Well, maybe a little bit here. Just a second here.
So Linda, I'll tell you that we use that super fast glue,
Mm-hmm.
and the farrier that I had helping me at the time, he basically made a foot on the back of her foot, an extension,
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
to try to help her stand up behind.
Yeah.
And that made her so lame.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just like cut it off.
Yeah. Well, I can see why it would, because what's happening here, due to the leverage that's going on in the back, she's being forced onto her bulbs. You got to remember that this is just a capsule of on a foot, okay? And and so I mean they should be getting up and moving a lot right away in order to start wearing off those frogs and the periople in the back of the foot. So as the foot is growing, because they do a lot of growing pretty quickly. And so ideally they should, let me see if I'm on the right deal here. Um,
Yeah, and
ideally,
she couldn't get up without help for the first
mhm,
month. You
yeah,
know, she just laid on her side for like a month.
yeah. So she was never able to wear off her foot at the her capsule at the rate of the growth of her foot. And so her foot was growing, but this little tiny capsule she was born with was not wearing down and renewing itself and growing bigger with the foot. See? And
Yeah.
and then you add to that the fact of well, if you look at the front feet here, let me get a color. Okay, you see how now her pasterns are pretty upright over here. Let me get this. Pretty upright here. See?
Mm-hmm.
And so, her foot is going to be kind of up like that. Okay, but up here, because everything's so curved, okay, whereas here, her bulb is kind of up off the ground here where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or here, it's under here.
Mm-hmm.
See? And so that's going to make this toe shoot forward like that. Like you can even see, even here, she's still got this little tiny what I was born with capsule on
Mm-hmm.
right there, but the foot is growing. Now, even though her pasterns are aimed this way, they still want to stand upright like this. Well, that's not very good. I mean, they do have a little bit of angle at them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, but what is happening is she's being forced onto her bulb under here when her bulb really wants to be up here.
Mm-hmm.
And so when like let's look, you can see these growth patterns because see that foot's going to want to pull up this way anyway. Her whole leg, everything wants that foot to be up like this instead of down like that. And so all these leverages are pulling the capsule off this way and it's not wearing off. The old capsule is not wearing off. So you got it stuck on there while her foot is growing and trying to stand up, but almost can't. So so now let's look at something here. Just a second here. Um, New share. We'll go to back to the email. And this here, what you have here, let me let me find save that image. And I want to put it in another program I have to rotate it. Because what you're going to see here is the little capsule still stuck on the foot, and the foot keeps trying to pull up and out of that capsule because it's growing. Like you see these lines here?
Mm-hmm.
That's every time the foot pulled up and out of the capsule.
Mm-hmm.
That's like it was here. That's where it originally was, grew, pulled up and out, grew another set of periople over the bulb. Foot grew some more, pulled up and out, grew another set of periople right there. Foot grew some more, pulled up and out of the little capsule area, and is starting to grow another set of periople here. So basically, you have one, two, three, at least three older versions of the foot still stuck to the foot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is there. And so, you know, at the time, if you would have known, you could have trimmed all this frog off and taken some of that, a bunch of that toe off to start getting the old capsule off so
Yeah.
that uh see, because her heel buttress that was here and was in a little tiny foot is now bigger and up here as her foot is growing.
Mm-hmm.
Her foot has grown this much. This was probably the capsule from when she was a foal, okay, the tip of it, but
Mm-hmm.
then her foot is growing and getting bigger. But uh it can't grow any of the heel buttress up in here now because it's still stuck down here, and this is covering it all up. Um, because it's like that corium that grows the heel buttress and everything is like grass, is like grass. You cover it up and it doesn't grow. But once you get it uncovered, it comes to life again and starts growing. So let's look here. So here, now this this is not the same at the same time. Is it this one here, or is it just
No,
a different view?
this this would be like probably 3 months old. So I would say like probably like 2 months after the last picture.
Okay.
So she's
Okay.
basically just polished and smashed all that periople you were pointing out.
Yeah. And what happened here is on this side, it partially grew, but then got stunted again. But on this side, it just never got uncovered to be able to grow again.
Mm-hmm.
See now the one thing you had a hard time taking off, would it be the toe wall and this around here?
Um, at this point, I just didn't even touch it because I didn't know what
Yeah.
was happening. I was just like, I don't, it was so compromised. I was afraid it was just all gonna fall off.
Oh, I don't blame you. Probably would have been better if it would have fallen off.
Yeah,
See?
right.
And stuff. But see, that was also part of the problem. See, is not knowing what to take off here. So her little capsule just stuck to her foot.
Mm-hmm.
See, um, uh, what could have, if you would have known, what you could have done was start taking this off, starting to remove uh frog and periople, and start looking for these heels to start growing. See, getting this one uncovered
Mm-hmm.
and stuff that would have allowed stuff to grow. Because see, when they get up, I mean, in the wild, in the right environment, they wear all this off at the same rate as the foot is growing. See, and so really that is the only problem that happened here is that she had some weak pasterns, and the mechanics of it made it worse. Say, the fact that she couldn't move around to wear it off, and then the mechanics of it, of her pasterns being collapsed like that. And so she's walking on her bulbs here, and
Mm-hmm.
that is forcing all this forward. See? So that's ultimately what happened. And so now we're going to take a look at her feet, to see where you're at now and see if there's something we can do to still restore and bring this horse's feet back to life, the life they were meant to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any questions? Are you understanding kind of what I'm saying there? That her foot was growing. It'd be like if you had a baby and you get them little baby shoes, and
Mm-hmm.
then 5 months later you're still trying to fit those little baby shoes on that baby. That baby grew. Those little shoes don't fit anymore. You got to change the shoe with the baby's growth. And so the horse naturally wears in the right environment, they will naturally wear that to the degree that their foot is growing. Most domestic horses are foot bound due to this reason, that they don't get the periople bulbs and bulb spars and and frog worn down, trimmed enough. Okay. And so the capsule stays small, and as the foot grows, it gets kind of crammed and bound in the capsule. And then it can also, the bulbs just grow out the back. And because everything's covered over, it's just not growing correctly. Okay, so any questions there?
No,
Any comments?
it it makes total sense. I see it.
Okay.
And if we're gonna run out of time, maybe we could start with the hind feet if you're okay with that.
Okay, well, I'm here for as long as we need to be here.
Okay, because
Okay.
the hind feet are really what
Yeah.
everything's ugly, but the hind feet are really ugly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't got you on a time clock, dear. Whatever we need to talk about, whatever we need to discuss, because I want you to understand what's going on, and then we make a plan and see if we can do something about it. Okay, and then we will meet um when you're ready to trim, depending on the plan we make and stuff here, when you're ready to trim. And then if you need me to be there with you to do certain things, the way it works is uh, you'll be there trimming. You'll take a picture of the foot. I'll do a markup. I'll ask you to trim certain things, describe what we need to do. You'll do it. Then you'll take a picture and you'll show me. And then I'll tell you if you did it right. Okay. And if not, then I'll make a little more markup and have you do it again. And then you send me a picture and we discuss it. Understand?
Yep, yep,
Okay.
that makes sense.
All right. All right. Well, let's see here. Da, da, da. Okay. So left hind. Should we look at the left hind first?
Sure.
Which foot do you want to look at first?
The right hind is the worst out of the four.
Okay. Well, let's where is that?
And the left
Um,
hind is the next worst.
Okay. Well, let's look at the worst one first.
Okay.
So I have here left hind.
So I sent the right hind first last week. Maybe it got archived in a folder.
Well, this is the folder.
Oh, okay.
Um,
It might be in your inbox. I don't.
archives empty. See, I got you down here. Um, see, full. Well, let's look at a full body shot first.
Okay. It might still be in your inbox.
That's a good sized horse you got here.
Yeah, she's 17-1.
Oh my goodness sakes.
I know.
I doubt if I've even been next to a 17 one-hand horse. Well, she's just got great bone and stuff, doesn't she?
She has a little bandage on her foot because I was working on taking the bar out and I hit
Mhm.
blood.
Oops.
So
Yep.
I bandaged it up because it was muddy.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a
She was
learning
never lame. She
experience.
just looked at me like, "Do you mind?"
You mind? Well, here's
Yeah,
the thing. The foot warns you. The foot will warn you before you really hit something vital. It's like, you know how when you just barely scrape your skin and you'll see just a drop of blood leach out of the skin,
yeah.
just with the scrape, slight scrape. So it will warn you before you get into the actual corium. The very innermost layer will leach a drop of blood, and that's warning you. Yep, you've gone far enough, too far. So, it's all a learning experience for sure. Well, she sure is a big, beautiful girl. Okay, so um, let's see. You might have to send that to me again
Okay.
because I don't see one that's listed here as Brownwind. Is that like a German? Is that sounds like something out of
It's a
what's that?
really old like uh
Tale of some
name from
kind.
Indian, like Celtic name.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Like what was that legend story they used to tell uh of the guy that battled the monsters? I can't remember now.
I,
Okay, so got full body, got front, left hind, left front. So yeah, I need the right hind.
Forward. I'll just forward it to you again.
Okay, well, while I'm waiting for that, I'm just gonna look at the rads.
So I called the vet and
Mhm.
they still haven't sent me the rads we took last year. So those rads are from 2019.
Okay. And are these, oh, that's 4 foot. That's a front. Okay. Well, mainly when you look at these, because how when did you get introduced to heels?
It was about a year ago. I've put in probably like 90 to 100 hours of watching your videos.
Oh my gosh.
And I have a whole notebook. So I'm a little
Oh, bless your heart.
I've been studying very hard. But like it's only been like a year so
Yeah.
far.
Okay. Well, hey, that's great. And good for you. You know. Um, when I see all these pictures here, I'm just seeing heels trimmed out where the foot, has been pulled in like this. Sometimes what'll happen is it'll pull it up to a very steep, it'll make it give it a steeper palmar angle. But in this case, it has just pulled everything down and kept you at almost a negative palmar angle there. Which is this? What foot is
That's
this?
behind the
Yeah.
hind. I'm not sure which one, but that I think that's the right hind.
Okay.
because the left hind isn't quite that ugly. That is a front. That's a left front. And that is yeah, those are hinds. I'm not
Okay.
sure why the labels aren't on the hind. If there's no label, it's a hind foot.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back and see if okay, here we go. I'm gonna put that, move it to your folder. Hmm. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Right hind.
So I made you a little composite at the end with everything together. I didn't
Okay.
know what would be helpful to you, but
Okay. So, um, what I am saying is that your heels just again, you got too small a capsule on her capsule was just never able to get as big as it was supposed to be. Once the back of those heels contracted around, she was just never has never been able to be released out of that. And so her bulb skin is underneath when it should be like up here. Let's look at, let's see here. Okay, and it does always affect the quality of the hoof wall. And really, I think that's periople, what you're seeing there. Sometimes it looks like fine cracks because periople is tubules, and sometimes they can be mistaken for horn tubules. And usually, when the foot is compromised like this, the periople is rather thickened. So let's see here. Wish I could make this in the center of the page, but I can't. Oh well. Okay, so anyway, you see her bulbs are still stuck under here. Okay, when there's this bulb skin that's under here and this area here should be up here. So see, that's pulled down and stuck into her little capsule. Okay, and like so many of these horses, I wonder, let me try something here. Wonder how I download this. That's print. What are you?
that's
Let's
download.
download.
That
Okay,
little
let's
arrow. Yeah.
see if this will open in a regular picture. Ah, good. Okay. This is much better. Let's see. New share. Just a second. Okay, well, right away, I can see that I can help you with trimming this stuff out here. Okay, because this should not be here. Now, her bars are going to be distorted. What you're trimming here is distorted bar, and her bulbs are wrapped up into here like this. So what we're going to try and do is get this frog into better shape and renewed and get some of this stuff out of here and see if these heels will not start separating and seeing if we can get some of the corium that's buried here to come alive again and start growing a bigger hoof capsule and more heel. Let's see. Okay, let me go on to the other pictures here. New share. Well, it's going to be exciting. See, I think that everything that's supposed to be growing, it's still in the foot,
Yeah.
and I think that it can be restored. If we can get this to unbind and get these bulbs out from underneath the foot and separated, and because see, she's growing frogs, so that's good. That frog will lift up the whole back of that foot.
Hmm.
It's like a hydraulic system almost. Okay, let's see. Let me download that. I'm just going to download them all here. Let's see, did that download? I guess I'm downloading a million times there.
See on that one, how
Uh-huh.
that one heel is so short.
Yeah.
It's like that's the they're. It's like it's stuck. It's.
Yeah.
I don't trim it. I don't touch it with ant rasp at all,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a year of of growth.
Yeah, she just wears it off.
You can really see it there.
Oh, yeah, you can. Well, see, the heels are curled in
Yeah.
like this. And
So
uh
do you think it's the bar that's holding that heel forward and down?
well, there's two things. One, because it is so low, then just the mechanics of the foot, the way the foot is supposed to be, is gonna pull it in like that.
Okay.
So one thing we might want to try would be uh DI doing some sort of support with DIM for a few rounds. Would you be into doing something like that?
Yeah, I have DIM. So here's the thing is she twists her feet when she walks.
Uh-huh.
And the only thing that hasn't twisted off is a nailed on Duplo shoe, and even that will twist off within a week
Okay. That
because
makes sense.
she's so heavy and so
Hmm.
big. And the leverage is just, if I put some, I'm willing to try whatever, but I've got $400 in boots that I can't use.
Oh, wow. Well, and I understand exactly what you're saying about her twisting, you know, um, because when their heels are not the same on both sides and at the elevation they should be, it's like their sickle hawk, like their feet twist
Right.
in and out, and their hawks go in and out too.
Like a cow.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, did I save that one? I can't remember. Yep, I guess I did. Okay.
So I cut you off. I apologize. You were saying that part of the problem is the mechanical leverage um, on that.
Yeah,
And then
because
what
her
was the other issue?
I'll have to think of it in a minute.
Okay.
I just want to get these copied in here. Now, oh, okay. I see what I'm looking at. Okay, I think I got them all. New share. Okay, part of so okay. Oops. Let's see. Am I sharing that? Are you seeing those pictures change?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay, because the back of her foot is so low, the whole mechanics of the thing are will want to pull these heels in. Um, so and that's the thing we got to get it to do is to un start to uncurl the back of the foot and the heels. Um, let's see here. See, all of it is mechanical, one way or the other. Now, have you seen where I show how these horses make false heel
Yeah.
and stuff? The way they do that is by pulling this sidewall in like that. Um, and so that's the problem here is the sidewalls being pulled in. So how to get that to mechanically release from doing that? Let's see. That is the kicker.
Here's your $1 million question.
Yeah. Now this is the side that grows, right?
Yep, that's the medial side.
Okay. See how turned under that is there?
Yep.
I wonder if we could get some composite material and make a false heel if it would
Hmm.
stick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like like some sort of uh okay, like what's the name of that stuff? Oh, like it's a two-part epoxy.
Like super fast?
Yeah. Yeah, if you could like make a heel to elevate this side some, you know, like just come in
Mm-hmm.
here and just make a heel.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
So you, I would not want it gluing the sole to the sidewall underneath, right?
Um,
Like I wouldn't want that super fast to be on the sole too.
I don't know. I have to think about that. You know, um, see what I'm thinking is if we could come in here with some composite and just add like this much. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just add some of that. And then also, once you do that, to see if her foot will twist as much.
Mm-hmm.
See? Because I don't think it will. I think that that will help some of that. Because that's the reason it twists. Because, okay, so you got this foot and you got one heel. Instead of heels even. See? From there to there. What you got is you got a situation like this where one heel is up here and one is down here.
Mm-hmm.
See? And so when she lands, then it goes from one heel to the other heel and the foot twists. See? So if you could add and that's two reasons. One, first of all, look at the height right there. There.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just a minute. And the other is just a minute. The other is okay, see how this hairline is higher
Mm-hmm.
and the heel is literally higher off the ground. So she's standing at an angle. So two things. One, you got one heel more forward of the other, as well as lower, and the other one further back and higher. So that's gonna magnify that twist, because in order for her to land straight, she has to hit on both heels at the same time, and they have to be the same height on each side, equal
Mhm.
sided. I'm gonna go back. So I'm gonna undo this here and look at this foot some more to see how I might be able to add some composite to that and see if that would work to help. Or it's just a thought for this moment. Okay, so what to do? What to do? Okay, let's go back. Yeah, well, and there is America's sin right there.
Mhm.
It makes me so irritated. Yeah, you can even see it here. Um, this side looks, well, this
That's the
side,
high side.
yeah, that's the high side. And see, in this case, this heel looks further back because it's so low in this case. A lot of times, you'll find that because it what'll happen with the lower heel will go forward if the wall bulges out, but it didn't do that in this case. So
The different shape of those bulbs is interesting. Like
yeah,
right to left.
yeah. Mm. Yeah, yeah. Um, make that a lot of times make them smaller so you can see it in a different, like, I can decide what's going on with the bulbs. These feet can be so deceptive. You can think it's one thing because each distortion has an alternate version.
Hmm.
I might have you take some more pictures of this foot where I can see more of the pastern, like from a little further distance away. Um, let's see here.
Let me see if I got one.
Okay.
I took like 300 pictures.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
So you want like a solar view further away?
Yeah, and one looking down at the heels.
I don't know if I have what you need. I don't think I have anything further away.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's all right. You probably can't tell what I'm doing there, but I'm taking it bigger and smaller. Sometimes I'm finding that even looking at them at their smallest, I see more.
Oh,
As I'm getting so I can really note hoof distortion on horses that are standing at a distance.
you know what they say about practice.
Yeah,
You
yeah, no
did plenty of
kidding.
that.
Yeah. Well, and then you get so you just know how these feet respond, and you know how people are trimming them and what's going on. So you just get so you can read them. See, when I look at this foot, okay, and I see that one high heel and then this low one. This bulb, even though this is further back, this is almost looks like this bulb is being pulled under more on
Mm-hmm.
this side. Um, hold on, open with. Let's see. Open up a couple here. I want to look at the full one. So the main thing is going to be trying to figure out, first of all, how to create a better balance so her foot isn't twisting as much to where she might hold on to a boot or a shoe so that we could use some DIM and get some elevation and start releasing more of that frog
Okay.
to try and get better frog and her frog cram moving and the back of that foot moving and opening up more. So let's see here. New share. Okay, is that picture changing?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, see how much more curled in this heel is
Yeah.
over here?
It's like it's rolling inward and forward.
Yeah. Now, when were these taken?
9 days ago.
Okay. I'm just looking at this. The way the shape of this. Like is this the wall that's bent under?
Mm-hmm.
Is it growing okay, so this is the wall that
Yeah,
should
it's
be
like
on
it
the
got,
side and it's bent under the foot, right?
yeah, it's like it just got bent over like you would do with a pair of pliers, you know?
Okay. Oh, hold on a second. My husband's calling.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay, so all right. And so one thing I think is going to yeah, we're gonna have to do something about that because can't see you're not gonna get anything to grow because it is turned over and then it's covering over what should be growing. See? So that's gonna have to be trimmed out of there. And this, yeah, we're gonna have to do something uh to get this stuff cleaned up. And because as long as that is laying flat, it's not gonna grow high at all. And so um let me think about uh figuring out some form of composite you might be able to attach to the back of the wall or in the heel
Okay.
to support the back of this foot. Um, uh, Now, do you use any power tools at all?
Yeah, I have a hoof boss.
Oh, lucky you. Okay.
I know. I was so bummed when I found out there was a cheaper alternative.
Oh, yeah, because they are expensive.
Yeah,
Did you
that was
get,
my Christmas present to myself a few years ago.
oh, good, but good for you. That's good. Okay. So, on our first virtual trim, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you start cleaning this up here. And we're going to get all this cleaned up so that you haven't got, see, all this caused pressure points on the bottom of the foot
Okay.
and stuff. None of this stuff should be here. Okay, so what we're going to do is really clean this up and define these areas in here more. Like, see, I can tell here that you got some bar. This bar should be ending just down in here, but this is all merged garbage junk and stuff that shouldn't be there, which it's easy. This is one of the places where these feet uh, exfoliate the least. And so
Okay.
we're going to want to clean up all this sole in here and get this real clean. Let me show you a picture of my horse's foot cleaned up, what they should look like. Um,
Can I ask you a
Now,
question before you go away from this
sure,
photo?
sure.
So on the left left side of the screen,
Over here,
yeah, okay, so do you see how there's almost, so move your cursor towards there. So starting there and then moving towards the lateral wall. See, there's a lump there. There's a
yeah.
line. And all the way back to the heel, it's like this big, I wonder if that's a bar laid over the sole.
You mean it's like bulged? It's bulged right here?
Yeah, that whole area that you just went over. Yeah.
Okay, that is from the foot itself being squeezed and so the foot is bulging internally. And
Okay.
that's just the sole. But I mean, you could still have some bar over that. Were
Uh-huh.
you at the hoof chat yesterday?
I wasn't. I
Okay.
have to listen to them post airing.
Okay. Um, well, uh see, I found out even though, I'm doing this, blah blah, I still find myself trimming to the distortion of the bar. And so I found out I'd been doing that on my bars, and so I did have some bar that merged over the sole. Um, and you can definitely have that going on here, but also what I see is because she's still got her foot that wanted to grow, and it still grew a certain size, but it's just bound up in this little capsule. And so it can make this area bulge. Like,
Okay. So
let me
should
show
I
you what.
should I try to take some of that bump bulge off?
No, not right now,
Okay.
because it's the foot itself that's bulged, that's
Okay.
squeezed and bulging. And so that's just the shape of the sole growing over the foot part that's bulging. the
Okay.
corium and stuff. And so, um, so no, I wouldn't try to take any of that. What I would try is I would start getting this cleaned up around it here and this apex of the frog cleaned out because see, uh, now I would get all this soil cleaned up in here. Okay.
Okay.
Now here you have some bar growing over this area. See it there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, yeah, all this needs to be cleaned up, and then we're gonna have to do something here because we just can't allow it to keep laying over. You know, even if you have to basically trim it out right there. I mean, it's already low. She's already standing on it. You know, it's not
Mm-hmm.
doing anything to elevate the foot, just keeping it there. Um, so I'm going to show you my horse's foot. Let's see. Just a second. And tell you about some of the stuff we talked about yesterday. What happens? Well, let me show you. Let's look at an inner foot first. Just a minute.
I'm gonna go back and listen to it. I usually listen to it while I'm driving.
Okay. Um, seeing the pictures that we showed. See, for one thing, we saw a picture of a foot yesterday that's very similar to your foal's foot, where you see how the foot started growing a new version of itself about 3 or 4 times
Mm-hmm.
as it was expanding. Only this is on an older horse that is foot bound. And as his foot is getting bigger, his capsule's getting bigger and his foot is being released, you see something very similar. You know, um, let's see here. Okay, so let's look at some of these inner feet here now. Let's see, new share. Okay, so here you have a healthy foot
Mm-hmm.
that had a well-fitting hoof capsule on it that even it did have some distortion in the pillars, but nothing that in none of the distortion that was ever on that capsule deformed the inner foot. Here you have a foot that was barefoot trimmed for 16 years. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you see how the foot was crammed into a capsule that was too small for it.
Mm-hmm.
You see how it did. Okay, well, you know how you said you saw that bulge?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you see this right here?
Okay.
That's what we're talking about there.
Okay.
Because her foot is crammed into a smaller capsule, it's causing this corium. This is all movable. Now there's bone under this part here, but the rest of it is cartilage and fat. And this pad, this corium skin that covers the foot, even though it's got different types of skin that grow different things, like here's the sole, corium grows a sole, here's a frog, corium grows a frog. Um, then over here you have the bar corium that grows the bar. Over here is the coronary band that grows the wall. Okay, it's still like a big fat Dr. Shell's gel pad sock. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so when everything's squeezed, that thing, that skin, your skin moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, the skin on these feet move too. Okay, you know how you can pinch your skin and it'll pinch up into a little rounded area, right?
Right.
Okay, well, this foot was pinched here. And so see how it pinched up the corium?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what you got on that foot where you're looking at it. You see, so you see why it wouldn't do any good to just thin it out? Because
Okay.
that's the shape of the foot. That's what's going on the inner foot inside. Whereas on this side, it's more expanded and concave. See, like if we were to look at your foot, let's see, let's go back and look at it. Okay, so kind of yours is kind of the same on both sides. You can see how it's bulging
Mm-hmm.
like that. Okay, and probably similar on this side because it's narrow on both sides, whereas this one was kind of wide on both sides. But the hoof capsule looked completely different than your horse's hoof capsule, but yet it was too small. You got too small of a shoe. Let's just call the capsule a shoe for
Mm-hmm.
your horse's foot. Yet your horse's foot is crammed into it. Um, let's see here. New share. Okay, so this is what happens. See how the heels are trimmed out of this foot? And
Mm-hmm.
it wants to pull out. See this part right here?
Mm-hmm.
Was originally attached here. Now the periople skin that grows from the bulb is part of the hoof capsule. And so when you take a hoof capsule off, that periople skin comes off with it. It'll rip away from the bulb here that grows it. Now, since the heels were over trimmed in this horse and it was wet, the periople skin released and the foot wants to pull out of it and be where it's supposed to be. Okay, so we got here. Okay, so um see the bulb skin should be at least this high up. If this foot was sitting in here, as soon as you take a hoof capsule off, the whole back of the foot is pretty floppy.
Mm-hmm.
It needs all of this to support it. Well, I don't need a cookie monster. I don't know why the cookie monster's in there. Now this was a healthy foot. See how it's not bulged?
Mm-hmm.
This is a rear foot. This is a horse. They trimmed out his heels so much that he pulled his capsules off.
Yeah, I remember you showing that picture.
Yeah. Got brand new shoes on. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that foot wants to pull out of that capsule. There's a constant pressure to want to pull up out of that capsule in these feet. Okay, so anyway, see, all of this is cartilage and fat. That's the only solid piece of the foot right there. Okay, so let's see. Go back to here. Let me find another picture here. Here's a foot where the heels were trimmed out and it caused this to happen in the toe. It puts so much pressure on the toe, the bend in the foot. But then
Mm-hmm.
there's a healthy foot. There's a healthy foot. Second here. Okay, so here again we see how it bulges here.
Yeah.
Just a minute here. But see how it's not bulged on this foot? See the shape of the frog corium? Because, okay, as the capsule's getting smaller, as the heels are being trimmed out, well, it's pulling all of this anatomy into a deformed shape. And so you see this right here. This here is the true shape of the foot. Well, as the capsule's being made smaller and it's pulling all this part here forward, all this is in front of it has to go somewhere. In this case, in this particular foot, it kind of pulled this, pushed the frog corium forward. It spread out the area between the bulbs and kind of pulled this over the side. Now, in my horse, I'll show you what it did to my horse, which was different. It's just the luck of the draw how this is going to get shoved. It may get shoved up into the foot. It may be bent up into the foot. I'll show you what it did to my horse. Just a second here. And I just come to realize this in the past few weeks from looking at pictures. Let's see. Okay. Down here. UV. Okay. Okay, so this is back from 2013 over here. See it?
Mm-hmm.
When I was really trimming the heels out. And his capsule was too small. His bulbs are hanging out the back, actually. See there?
Mm-hmm.
And his soles used to be gray. Uh, Trimming the heels out, reducing the size of the hoof capsule destroys the pigmentation in the wall and in the sole. His feet used to be black. Now they're multicolored. Brown, black, cream, striped. And the soles are white, but you can still see gray parts there. Now, look at the frog. See how the frog is bent?
Mm-hmm.
There. See, it's bent this way and that way. Like as it was pushed forward, like in the foot we just saw, the frog sides went wider on each side. And this area got bigger. So it was kind of even on both sides. On this one, what happened was as it was pushed forward, this side went in like that. See it?
Yep.
As the heels came forward and pushed on the bars, they bent out like so. And so these bulbs here, you look at how the heel buttresses are turned in towards the frog. They're supposed to be just back like this. See? And then the bulbs back here, it's pulling the bulbs inward like this. And as that happens, the periople will grow over it here, and you won't even know that this bulb has been pulled in clear like this. It's creating a false heels. The bulbs are actually, my horse never wanted to have that 30-degree hairline. He would always, his bulbs always wanted to pull up, and see what it does is it takes this part of the foot right here and it pulls it around in like that. See, towards the frog, which is what it's doing on your horse too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then the bulb will lift up here and be shorter. And then this piece of hoof wall will be pulled down behind, and you will think your horse has heel or that he grew heel. But what's happening is these bulbs and the deep digital flexor tendon, everything in this foot wants it to be up here. See? And so as it pulls up, it takes this piece of hoof wall here and it pulls it around behind, and then it bends the bulb down like that, so that then you come out, you think you have, your heels have grown. See? But it's, your heels haven't grown. It's just deformed the capsule and compressed the foot in there. Let's see. So I just realized this here in the last couple weeks, that this, I didn't realize how bent, because I didn't know this was going on with the foot. See? And so I've been uh enlarging the capsule so that the foot fits in the capsule. And let's see, clear all the drawings. Just a second here. Let me. And so these heels that were so turned in are now coming out. This way, the capsule's getting longer. These bulbs are coming out. And this was on the 9th. It was really coming unbound. In fact, so much so that it uncovered a piece of sole here. I had been not trimming the bars down enough. You see how much I have those bars trimmed down here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because in reality, once the heels are here, this is about where your bars will end, right in here. Once that foot comes undone and the heels, and you allow the bars to grow from a position of where your heels are supposed to be, then, but otherwise it will bind your foot right there. And so I had been trimming bars differently. I started trimming them differently anyway. When I started the different mapping process, let's see here, where instead of going like this, I started going over to here. See there? How that ends differently. Right here. And as I started taking off more of this here, my heels started to unlock more. And so I started realizing that I was still trimming to distorted bar that had grown into a place where it shouldn't be. So as soon as I changed the mapping protocol and started ending this a little more here, I started getting more results with my heels coming uncurled.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let me. And I noticed that, okay, so your wall has 4 layers at least. And so on the wall here, we can get down to a clean white line. Sometimes, not if your foot is bent right here. Like I used to have separation here in the quarters, but now because I've gotten, bigger hoof capsule, my foot is relaxed, it's not as bent. I can get a clean white line. I can get a level foot with a clean white line. Like there's no scoop in the quarter or nothing like that. But for a long time, I had a scoop. You couldn't get a clean white line in the quarters. So what I noticed on this last trim was that I had allowed the inner bar wall to merge over the sole. And I hadn't realized it. Well, even that is going to hold your heels where they are, because it's still connected to the bar, and then it smudges a kind of a clear layer over the sole that you think is sole but isn't. And the way I was seeing this was that I was cleaning some of it up in here, and like look at here, this is from the 920. Okay, now see that piece of gray sole, clear from when he had gray sole. Look how it's covered up here. See, and then on here, look how this piece of gray is covered up, but I uncovered some of it here. And then look, you can see it smooshed up over this piece of gray in here, but I uncovered it here. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
and like here, covered up. So that means that this inner layer of bar, which would be like the lamina layer, just started smooching over the sole. See, and look here, look at these two. Oh, well, they're right there, but you can't hardly see them, see? At the same time, my heels, though, had come more uncurled, like so. Now, this heel looks kind of similar to yours in a way, except I
Mm-hmm.
actually got more heel. But see how you got to start cleaning these little heels up as this stuff grows, or you wind up um, retaining old false heel. So so that's what we'll work on for right now is you getting this stuff in here cleaned up and the
Okay.
bars and the apex of the frog. So when you get a chance, I want you to work on that and take pictures and send them to me. Um, and then if I feel that you need more help on that specific area, then we'll do virtual together trim. How would that work?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, and I think you can use your sanding disc.
Okay.
Okay, and I was gonna also tell you that, and I'll do a markup on the sole too, right now for you. Okay, um, and I was gonna tell you too, on Amazon you can buy really cheap little sanding discs, 2-inch
Okay.
sanding discs that will fit on that thing.
Okay.
Um, let's see
Oh yeah,
here.
I did see that hoof chat where you showed a picture of them. They're like little leaf
Yeah,
sanding
flap
strips.
disc sander,
Yep.
sanding disc,
Yep, I
flap
remember
disc.
that.
Um, because if you buy the ones that they sell, like Hoof Boss or Proxon, gosh, they want $8-9 a piece for them. That's ridiculous,
Yeah.
you know. Um, let's see here, just a minute here. Okay, so I want to show you this foot a couple days later after this,
Okay.
right here.
Hmm.
Okay, so you see here how curled the heels were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and look at, and of course, this side has always been very asymmetrical and wider than this side. But now see how it's coming uncurled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a lot of that is first of all having some elevation, but man, I'll tell you, my whole foot was a false foot at one time. I didn't even know it. Here in 19. See, I should show you a picture when I thought I had a good foot and then realized I didn't. Just a minute here. Um, see, this has been nothing but, you know, learning and exploring here. Okay, here, I'll show you this. This is back in 19 and 21. See, when I first started this, I just thought, oh, when I discovered that we were been led to trim the heels out, I thought it was just a matter of growing heels. I didn't know the whole foot was bound up. This has been one learning experience, one little revelation after the next. Uh, let's see, new share. Okay, so this is the same foot. And you see over here, I thought I had a good foot here. I mean, look at it. Look at that nice full sole and what I thought was
Mm-hmm.
the heel platform. Okay, well, guess what? That wasn't. This was a bound foot. What I didn't know was these bulbs were completely twisted in, pulled in here, and this is a piece of periople that has grown over the whole frog. You can kind of see the split right here. See?
Yeah.
Um, and so then I've been going look at how turned in the heels are though.
Yep.
See, everything here is actually distortion. This is not the true sole in the true heel of the sole corium. This is all false. See, so what I've been doing is unfurling this, and the foot has been getting bigger. See, this is curled in. See, and that's why my bars always wanted to curl like that. So
Yeah, you
this,
can really see it in the bulbs.
yeah, yeah. See, this whole area has been coming undone here. I mean, well, here we just look at some different areas. Um, I mean, how many different ways can a foot look, you know? I mean, it's amazing. Now here, we were really going through some changes where all this, you see now here, you're really seeing how curled in those bulbs really were.
Yeah.
See, because all that periople takes over and just disguises the whole thing. Your whole sole corium and everything is moved. Here, this is from 2016 when I first started growing heels back. And 2012, look at how the bulbs are and see how small the capsule really is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, and look at how weird the back of the foot looks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when this happened, all this was coming undone, and the whole frog pulled back because, you know, the frog gets shoved forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually you get enough of that frog renewing and growing to where it starts releasing. Well, it pulls the sole corium with it. And so it gives it this bruised look here. See there?
Yep.
This is all like full of periople in here. That's just from this frog pulling back and this whole foot getting bigger. And once I got this cleaned up and stuff moving, then it started widening up. That's still in 21. When was this? Oh yeah, 2012. Okay, so I did an experiment. And now I did it at the right time. You can't do this if your heels are real low because it'll just make your heels contract more. You have to have some elevation. And so because I had some elevation and I've been growing heel for a while, it worked out good. But this was in 21, or when was this? I can't remember. 20 or 21 I did this, maybe 22. I didn't put the year on. I just put the date. So what I did was that was when I was learning that periople can take over the whole frog. And because see, the bottom of my foot looked good. I showed you where I thought I had a good foot, had full sole, but the side looked like that. And so I knew that this was more what the true cartilage was supposed to look like over here.
Mm-hmm.
And so so what I did was I had a boot and I decided to trim out that periople between the bulb and into the frog, into the well, in between the bulbs and in the frog there. And so I started, this is what the foot looked like when I started. Again, I'm glad I had some heel elevation because since then we've learned that if you do that, A lot of times that periople is there for a reason. It's keeping your heels from contracting. It fills up between the bulb area so that the bulbs don't squeeze together. It's like a false frog stay. And so, but I was just learning about this periople uh, growing over the frog and into the frog stay and stuff, and binding your foot and becoming a false frog. And so I started removing it, and this is what happened in 3 days. Look at the cartilage. Now, what you see in the cartilage here is the true shape and form of the cartilage right there. That's
Yeah.
really how long the foot is. Now, at first, all I noticed was the difference in the shape of the cartilage. This is the 21st. Oh, it was in 2020. This is the 21st, this is the 23rd, and this is the 24th. And not only did was the cartilage released, but look at how it changed the shape of the dorsal wall and how the heel stood up.
Yeah.
Showing you just how flexible that shell really is. Um, see how high? Look at the difference in the heel. That blew me away. Well, so this was just an experiment that I did at that time. Um, now, what another thing that amazed me was, look at how the dorsal wall is dished. Look at how it's straighter here and even straighter here.
Mm-hmm.
See, well, so learning a lot from these. When these feet, a lot of times, not every time, but all that gets bound in there, it can push the coffin bone up, which rotates the inner foot down, but the wall gets pushed forward, and that's what creates the dish. So when this was released, it took it unbound the foot here. Well, look, even here, you see that bump? That's because this anatomy being pulled in that way into that joint pushes that joint forward, rotating that coffin bone downward. And so less here, and look, even smoother there. And this Chester wild adopted wild horse. Um, that's our mascot horse. And I was just comparing my foot to his foot, seeing where I had to go. And so this is just showing the different ways that can look behind between the bulbs when that's all spun in. You know, everything you get to see helps you. But here you see, okay, this is what I knew my foot wasn't right, looked great on the bottom. But when I had already learned that the cartilages were different than that. So when I would look at the side, I would see that and I knew it wasn't right. That's how I knew. That's why intact, okay, we look above the hairline. See, because we know what the shape of the foot, that's the only part of the inner foot you can actually see. Because the inner foot extends up to here. It's not just behind this hoof capsule here. So, yeah, see, I thought I had a good foot, but it did that. And I knew that wasn't right. And so it was at that time I was learning about this little thing here. It's a for years I've been seeing it do weird stuff. And so then came to the understanding this is periople. It can get sucked in over the whole frog. Look at the different, see, it would get that thing on it. It did all kinds of weird things. I didn't realize that it could cover the whole frog. See? So just holy cow, the changes in the feet. See, same foot, 2018. Now, since then, because the boot I only had one boot. And so I was keeping a sock in the boot and I was keeping hoof moisturizer on the foot to get it to do this. Anyway, oh, well, see, there it is. Look at that. See? Now I know what it is.
Yeah.
Trying the notch. I don't know if you've heard us talk about that. You know how these horses are always breaking a chunk out here? I was trying a
Yeah,
notch to see if,
I've been putting that in.
have you? Let's see.
I mean, not quite that drastically, but
Well, I got more foot than you do,
yeah, you do.
you know, and stuff. And so this is when I did not take that sole out. This is as the heels opened up and I just kept trimming. It finally opened up to a place where he hadn't been growing sole. See, I thought this area was this area. Okay, but this area was actually covered up. And so what you're seeing here now is you can see through the most inner layer of sole to the sole corium. It's got the thin, super thin layer of sole there.
Did you have trouble with sensitivity for a while after that came off?
Oh, well, yeah, so I put a boot on him. One of those, there's these boots you can buy. They've got a pad and stuff like that. Yeah, I put a pad on him till his sole grew in. See? Now this is back feet. So, I mean, he's got his sole grew in, but you have to uncover that. So yeah, I put a boot on him because it was thin, it was sensitive. Here's when I was trimming the heels out of my horse and made him pigeon toed.
I see that, yeah.
See? When his feet were black and gray. See there?
Yeah.
Now they're white. Isn't that weird? White and multicolored. So.
Hey, I found a solar view from
Okay.
almost exactly 1 year ago of that
Okay.
same hind foot.
Okay, let's look at that.
I'm a little bit like
Nope, hold on.
concerned.
Okay, let's see. Okay,
I
so
sent it to your messenger on Facebook.
okay,
I'm
that'd
a
be
little
great.
bit concerned after seeing that I'm making things worse.
Let's see, a solar view. Let's get on Facebook here. Okay, second here.
Like
Well,
if I put it next to the one we've been looking at, I'm like, oh my God.
okay. Let's see here. Okay, what do you want me to see here?
Well, I just compared it. So this is 1 year ago. And I just
Okay,
compared it to the one we've been looking at of just a couple days ago.
okay.
And it doesn't even look like the same foot.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it?
I mean, I'm hoping that the shape and the change in shape means my foot got bigger.
Let's see. Let me save it. And I'll compare it here. Okay, let me go find. I've got too many things open here. Okay, I'm gonna open this and then I'm gonna go find your other foot and we're gonna compare. Okay?
Okay, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see.
I can send it on Messenger too if that's easier.
Let's see. I think I'm about to find it here. I almost got it. Just a second. Got way too many pictures open. Just a second here. Okay. Okay. Actually, um, there's some good and bad. Okay. So let me just uh okay, just a minute here. Now, new share. Okay, there you go. So, I'll I see good and bad. It seems like the capsule has elongated. Uh, it's gotten narrower. Um,
My white line looks better.
yeah, it does. You know, the toe definitely looks better. Um, I think your heels might have contracted a bit.
Okay.
What you need to do is find a side view and look at it and see.
From a year ago?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send that to you.
Okay, yeah. Look at the two side views. Let's see.
Do you want just lateral side view?
Yeah, that'd be good enough.
Okay. Okay, it's on its way.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here.
I mean, looking at the frog now, like the current picture of the frog,
Mm-hmm.
the one on the right of the screen, that looks more like the right shape as compared to the cadaver foot. It's not so wide.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Let's see. I'm gonna look at a side view here. Yeah. Oops.
I mean, I was trimming out the central sulcus. Um, and then I quit when you started saying don't do that, it might contract the heels.
Oh, okay. Well, sometimes we're learning stuff after the fact, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, I think that from what I'm seeing here, your heel did contract. Um, your heel did contract. That's something that happened. I mean, it looks like your capsule may have gotten a little bigger um, at the same time, or the foot expanded, but at the same time, your heel contracted some. So let me take a picture and I will show you. Hold on. Okay, new share. Okay, so yeah, so you see how that heel is curling under there,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So we're gonna have to figure something out to get that to undo.
So I
Um,
had a thought I wanted to run by you.
okay.
Um, if I had a composite shoe with a wedge pad only on that side, the problem is like I can nail a shoe, like I know how to nail a shoe on.
Uh-huh.
I'm just not sure I want to nail a shoe on.
Yeah, I know. I know. Um,
But I'm just wondering if I had a shoe on there with a wedge pad on the one side to lift it up.
mhm. um, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to think about it. Let's first get the foot cleaned up, okay?
Okay.
Um, uh, okay. So you saw the sole on my horse's foot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna send you a picture of that just so you have an idea of where you're kind of headed, you know, because you want to keep the sole, you want to keep everything renewing, you know, so it'll keep growing and renewing, and so sanding out them soles as if they were kind of wearing them naturally and exfoliating them is really good for the foot.
Okay.
Um, and so you want to get all those clogs and bogs off the side. Like when you look at, let's see if I can find one here. Let me close some of these pictures. Cripes, I didn't know I had so many pictures open. Um, okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, so no share. Okay, so you see the bottom of the foot here.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't got any big lumps or clumps or bumps, does it? See, this should all be smoothed out. Um, so that it's smooth, it's got a smooth transition from one thing to the other. Nothing that's built up in there. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, just a minute here. Okay, it's new share. Okay. Now see, I let too much build up right there. Okay. See, you don't want to let anything build up and become a clump and a bump there, because it can also become a pressure point that can turn into an abscess.
Right.
and literally put a hole in your foot on the inside. So just for now, work at getting this cleaned up and send me some pictures and we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay.
And try and clean up these bars and get them more defined, even if your bar has to end right here. See there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that because that's not the true bar anyway. Okay, sometimes we're trying to hold on and save something, uh, save what we think we got. And in reality, we're just holding on to something that's just allowing the foot to uh, be bound up and not move. Everything in these feet is designed to correct itself if we can release it. See, it's just like you holding on to that one heel there. Even holding on to some of this. You know, sometimes you have to take some stuff that may not be ideal in order to release stuff, so stuff will move. Just like I had to force myself to take more of this out over here. All
Okay.
right. Um, what I did here, because I had been leaving too much. I thought I had taken out enough here, but obviously it wasn't enough because it was still merged over the sole. Everything was holding it. So I took it out here, as you can see. Well, in fact, I took out more here than I'd been taken out before. Because what happens is you want, like I said, you wind up wanting to hold on to something you think you're gaining, and that something is actually uh uh keeping your foot from being released and moving. These feet
Okay.
want to go back and be what they were supposed to be if we can just figure out what to release. Like at first it was nerve for me to, should a bar in there? I keep thinking it should end up here. Well, my foot is not normal. The back of the bar, the foot is bent. And so what's growing there is a distorted bar anyway. And so as long as I keep all that bar there, um, it's just gonna bind that foot right where it's at. See?
Okay. Right.
So and you see here, again, my frog, how it was curved, and how even the curve here, but look how much more is out of it here, how straight my frog is on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
See, because I did this, it released that. See, this is 5 days later here, from here, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
less curl in the heel. The frog is straighter, uh, less curl over here. Yeah. In fact, after we're done here, I'm going to go out because this was on the 15th over here. And it is what today? What is today?
The 29th.
29th. Okay. So, I'm going to go out and see what's going on. you know, See, I'm still in the process of restoring my own horse's feet. You figure it took and I was saying this at the hoof chat yesterday. So I trimmed the heels out of him from 2005 to through up to 2014. Um and really and kind of gave up for a couple of years, didn't trim much, and then come back, decide I'm gonna sell him, and I took pictures of his feet and went, man, nobody's ever gonna buy him, because what happens when you quit trimming those consistently trimmed barefoot trims? The feet turn into what they really are, which is monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Way run forward heels, bulbs sticking way out the back, toes shooting forward. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to sell him, I'm going to have to fix his feet. Well, here I am, still got him. you know that turned into a deal. And then in January discovered we've been trimming the heels out, January of 2016. So see, I'm still learning stuff. I'm still learning stuff. Like this deal I'm learning right now about these bars. And like I told you, I didn't realize my frog was curved and deformed like that. It just never dawned on me. And one thing I noticed when I did this trim and the frog was like, I was thinking, well, now is that right? But see, okay, Chester, our wild horse model,
Mm-hmm.
okay, he's actually got a narrow frog. Now it can grow frog and fill up the collateral grooves, but in reality, he's got a rather narrow frog. And when you look at this foot here, see, that's not a big fat wide frog,
Mm-mm.
and this is an anatomically correct foot. So uh
So
it just dawned on me when I did this trim and I seen that frog come out like that. I was like, okay. And the central sulcus, okay, first of all, it's not even supposed to be up here. All right, it's back here between the bulbs. Look here. See, you got to look at these things a million times. Now what happened to that? Did I close that? Oh darn, just a minute.
I'm
Oh
seeing
God.
the two cadaver feet.
Okay. Okay, so oh, what was I gonna say?
You were talking about the central sulcus.
Okay, we think it's up here on the foot. No, it's clear back here. It's clear back here between the bulbs. Look, just a minute. Let me move something here. Hope I can see this. Maybe I can find one. Well, look at this. See how fat the frog is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the deformed foot. See?
I was just thinking as you were describing all that,
Mm-hmm.
um, I have somewhere I have documented the actual measurements, in inches
Mm-hmm.
of that foot. I think I'll go out and measure it because it might look narrower. It might still be the same width, but it looks narrower because it got longer.
Yeah, there you go.
It still might be the same width, I'm hoping.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Okay, so see what I mean? What is a central sulcus? It okay, first of all, this is your frog grows in here. See?
Yeah.
Um that frog grows in there. So
So when we were trimming out the central sulcus and then the heels contracted, do you have a thought on how to fix that contraction?
other than yes, you get the foot elevated
Okay.
and that'll keep it from wanting to contract together.
Okay.
It's it's the it's the actual elevation of the foot that, well, if you got a big chunk of periople growing in there, the heels will not contract. And plus, the wide frog in the sides, that wide, big, thick, fat frog is holding them heel bulbs apart.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when that's gone, if you haven't got elevation, then the foot wanting to stand up like this is going to pull those heels around like so.
Okay.
Okay. So uh
So are you using like some like DIM or something to fix that contraction?
yeah, yeah, people have been using that, and getting some elevation to the foot and the DIM holding it up.
How do
Then
people put that DIM on? Are they putting it in a boot to
I
hold it
put it in
on?
a boot and I put a sock over it. I molded it to have the elevation and stuff, and then I put a sock over it and stuff to hold it there, like a small sock. Socks are great for using on
Mm-hmm.
feet, I'm telling you. And then a bag, and then another sock, and then put it in a boot.
Okay.
So, everything we're doing is like a new frontier.
I know it.
You
I
know,
know.
I wish I had all the answers to everything. Um, and some stuff, unfortunately, we learn after the fact. Like a month. Like I was growing my pony's heels because I thought her heels were run forward when they were actually trimmed out. And so my thought was I'll grow the heels and I'll straighten up all the horn tubules and then I'll lower the heels again. And so I did that. I grew her heels, man, her feet were doing great. And then I cut the heels off. And that was a month before I learned that we had been trimming the heels out of our horses. Okay. And that was kind of the
That's
straw.
kind of a bad feeling.
Yeah, that was the straw, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so, I don't know if she'll ever fully recover. Um, that's
Well, my riding instructor says you do the best you can with the knowledge you have.
yeah, yeah, that's right. And then I have another saying too: forgive yourself for what you didn't know
Yeah.
before you knew it. You know, um, this none of this is our fault. If we're gonna blame somebody, let's blame the vet schools. It's their fault. Okay, it is their fault because back when they opened up the vet schools, 1750, this guy named Lafosse came in there and had the great idea that horses should walk on their frog like it's a dog pad. And they started trimming the heels out of all these horses. And then that was in France. And the farriers came out against them, but it's a school, it's funded by the government. And once these academics come up with an idea, it gets written in stone like they're God himself. And then the vet school opened up there in England in like 1798, 3, something like that. And the first guy was a pretty good guy that ran it. He died in 3 years. And the next guy was a total piece of junk. And that guy wrote a book within 6 years, and that became the law of farriery, of hoof anatomy. And it's full of error. And they have carried it on for 200. That guy was the head of that school for 40 years. And he any kind of new research or anything like that, he'd knock it down, and his book is what they are still following today. That was from he published that book in like 1806, and so
Yeah.
it's full of error, and so it's their fault. So yeah, so see we have an uphill battle here, fighting the academic baloney in these schools that got transferred then into farriery. So back and forth, see. And of course, look what you call them over there. The guild of the vets and farriers in England, they call them the worshipful company of farriers. Yeah, is that not a joke? See, so they've been
I'd be
crippling and killing
embarrassed just
horses
to
for
say
centuries.
that.
What'd you say?
I'd be embarrassed just to tell someone I belong to something named that.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
So worshipful.
Yeah, the worshipful company of farriers. No. And yeah, that's your vets and farriers over there. So crippling and killing horses for centuries. And that's what's written in Bracy Clark's book. And see what's so weird. So you'll have these barefooters and the farriers quote, "Oh, Bracy Clark, he was one of the first vets," and oh no, no. He disagreed with everything they teach. See, he,
Yeah.
he disagreed with this whole frog pressure thing. That didn't become a deal in barefoot. That was here before. And in his book, which is called Hippodonamia, that you can read on, you might be interested in reading that book. It's on Internet Archive. Um,
Yeah.
I just type in the word suffering so I can get every place where he talked about suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. See, he saw it. He saw how much the horses of his day were suffering, from them trimming out the heels to force frog pressure. And so he developed, he still never saw a truly correct right foot, which is interesting that there were so many horses and he still never learned what a true right and correct foot was. But he even said that. He said that he had been deceived, because he didn't know that certain feet were deformed. And so it messed up a lot of his experiments and also those of his predecessors. So it's just really, really interesting. I'll send you a link to that book. And I'll send you, I'll find a link to this Edward Coleman, who was the head of that school. He come up with 20 rules that farriers follow today. The one big rule that was really damaging, besides frog pressure, was uh, that a horse bears its weight on the lamina. Okay, that's why in farriery they carve away the sole. They uh, mount the shoe on the wall, and they carve away enough sole so that the sole is not bearing any weight, because of the belief that uh, the you take the weight of the horse and you transfer it from the wall to the side of the foot and the lamina, and they believe that is bearing the weight of the horse, and that was what it was, like a suspension bridge, and that is what gave the horse the springy step. How screwy is that? Only
Yeah. Yeah. I went to farrier school in West Virginia,
Oh really?
and it was interesting because we didn't really learn anatomy per se, other than um they just talked about what where to put the nail and what not to put the nail in.
Uh-huh.
That's where I learned how to nail shoes on and make a shoe, but like they didn't, it was just about figuring out how not to quick the horse, but it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really about like any kind of biomechanics, which I thought was kind of, I mean, I was, like 20. What did I know?
Yeah, but still, you would think they'd teach something about anatomy, wouldn't you?
You would think.
You would think. Well, that's cool that you got to do that. See, and got to learn that stuff.
I
Still,
mean, it was good because I learned how to handle the tools,
exactly.
but
Yeah,
and
exactly.
my dad taught me how to work metal and how to weld when I was in high school.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it wasn't, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying
No,
like
no, you're great.
that's it just it was just very comfortable for me to just do the farrier stuff.
Uh-huh.
But as far as like pounding on a shoe and heating it up in a forge,
Yeah. Well, but
but
that's great. That's awesome.
I can't say that other than using the tools, and I can't say it was valuable. I just
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? Hey, just learning that's great. Having that experience, no matter what, is still great.
yeah, no, it definitely helps to not like cut myself.
Yeah. You can probably sharpen a hoof knife, you
Yeah,
know? That's
just
awesome. Well, one of these days, we should have you do a video on tool usage,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And
I'm happy to lead people astray.
well, can you sharpen a knife?
I'm okay at it.
Mm-hmm. What do you use?
I just use a round file, and then one of those files that has like, it's shaped like a half moon.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I use those two, and honestly though, you know, when you have a really nice, expensive set of knives in your kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and you sharpen those, they they stay sharp for a long time.
Yeah.
But I haven't been exposed to any hoof knives that actually hold their edge very
Yeah.
well. And so I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, I just need it sharp for the next 5 minutes because
Yeah.
I know it's gonna go dull if I use it on the sole or bars
Oh,
at all.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I at this point I don't really care about making like the perfect edge. I'll just like get it sharp, use it because I know that I'm going to have to resharpen it and I'm going to have, if I keep sharpening it, I'm going to have to replace the knife because I'm going to be out of metal.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just kind of gone to that utilitarian viewpoint on knives.
Ah. Well, see, I have knives I just keep for the props, you know.
Yeah.
And then the other one I'll use for bars and soles. That kind of helps me. But I got
Yeah.
a
I mean,
bunch
the
of
trick
knives.
to it is just really having a feel in your hand
Mm-hmm.
with the sharpener when
Yeah.
you have matched the correct angle of the blade.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that you can't learn. I mean, you can't teach that. You have to just do it till you feel it,
Okay.
you know?
Well, just you telling me that gives me something to think about and work towards.
It's just
Nobody ever
it's
told me
just
that
a
before.
so because if you're too shallow on your angle, you don't catch the edge to
Yep,
sharpen.
that makes sense.
If you're too steep on the angle, then you're just shaving off the sharp edge of your knife and
Okay.
making it blunt.
Okay.
So you have to, as you're running the sharpener along the edge in that swooshing motion,
Mm-hmm.
you have to the whole time you have to feel the edge you're following on the knife. You know,
Oh, okay.
it's very subtle. So it's just to me like when you're trimming the like a bar with a knife, you can
Uh-huh.
feel if your knife changes angle or goes a little bit too deep into the horn material.
Okay.
You know, it's that little feel that you can
Mm-hmm.
get, but you can't teach it. Someone just has to cut a bar and then they're like, oh, right.
Okay.
I don't know. I digress.
Okay. Well, see, just that helps me kind of understand more. You know, any little bit of information a person can get is a benefit. It all builds up.
Well, that's why I
Um,
listened to like 100 hours of you talking.
so yeah, people tell me when I'm out trimming, I can hear you. Pretty funny. Now, I just thought of something that might work too. They have these shoes that got these little flap things. Like you glue on these Velcro things on the foot, and then they've got these little flaps, or these flaps you glue on. Either you glue them on the hoof wall or something. Have you heard of
Oh,
those?
yeah. So, like, one half of the Velcro is glued to the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe that's an idea. Something to think about.
You mean to try to elevate that one side of the heel?
Yeah. Yeah. Or even just maybe clean up and take the other heel down and get them matched as close as possible, and then put on a wedge pad that's going to elevate both sides.
Okay.
That's something to think about too. And stuff. See if ah, so many things to think about. Well, anyway, I think, is there anything else you can think of that we can talk about right now?
No, I think I mean, from what
No.
you've explained, that's pretty much what's going on with the other hind foot to a lesser degree as well.
Okay.
So I'll just apply the same idea.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take measurements to see exactly how the shape has changed.
Okay.
Because it would be awesome if the heels look that way because the capsule has just gotten bigger and the heels didn't catch up.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you want me to take photos of the sole and the lateral?
Yeah. 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 The sole lateral looking down at the heels
Okay.
and stuff. And then yeah, you can just apply the same thing to the rest of the foot or to the other feet as far as how you clean them up, you
Okay.
know, and stuff. Now, of course, when you got those chunks and everything growing in there, you're going to be taking them out. They a lot of times they'll kind of reappear and stuff like that. You just kind of keep gradually cleaning that up so that it all cleans up and starts looking better.
Okay.
Okay. And feel free to call me if you got any questions.
Okay. I appreciate it, Linda.
Okay. Well, hey, uh, happy trimming.
You too. Have a good rest of your day.
You too, dear. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so that is the end of this hoof evaluation and virtual trim help. All right. Let's see. Now stop share.